Here I am, Leon C., aka Morpheus, and you are listening to the Academy of Wow Men. While we're here, Mr. Neo, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about a subject that was given to me this week. And the questions are expanding, and I suppose it's based on the pandemic, and it's based on some of the religious people who, a handful of them being women, are very concerned about when I am particularly debunking the idea of religion versus being a man. And so the questions that I'm receiving, Neo, is women are asking me how come it is particularly insignificant that her partner should be religious or specifically God-fearing. And they always say they don't see anything wrong with that. They want him to be in the church with her, or churches, or mosques, or cathedral, whatever they believe is, outside blowing candles or whatever you do, sit in a circle, holding hands with a 6-point star in the middle, whatever you do to get in contact with your sky. But let's get something straight, because I'm going to go raw and straight to the point, because I don't want this audio to be too long. I want to be specific here. There's a difference between being spiritual and being religious and being a man. And I could put myself in the mix, but you should know much about me already. But I'll give you a little spiel in just a little bit of what I do or what I think about the situation. But by all facts, what I do is I go by nature. Number one with Morpheus is basic nature. So whenever you go through a debate or you have a problem understanding what Morpheus is saying, you don't pay attention to science, nor do you pay attention to nature. You are a book indoctrinated follower, not a self-individual leader and someone who's interested in opening up your mind to reality. You're busy going on what people tell you, too busy being a political mind, too busy grabbing your school books and carrying them with you, and you use that for a guideline or specifically a manual to use your otherwise thinking faculties. Basically, it thinks for you. All right. As much of a bash as it may seem, and I can't believe he just said that type of expression that you may receive or feeling. Okay. I don't concern myself with the way that people feel, or you specifically, because the facts are going to be the fact. Whether you open up your eyes or you close them forever, it's still going to exist. Now, here's the reality of it. I'll look at it based on nature. Nature is my leader. Nature is, if I ever call anything a god or my god, that will be nature. Not you, not what you think, not your indoctrinations, not your school, not your preachers, not your preacher's books, not your preacher's ideas, not your professors, not your school, your degrees, or your ideas. It means nothing to me. Not compared to my respect for nature. Now, the three components, which is the marriage, the man, and the fear of Casper the Friendly Ghost, those are on three separate dimensions altogether, and they have a need on their own that goes outside of your indoctrination. If you choose to go and think that you can just compile them together and have a healthy relationship, you are going to be woefully disappointed and woefully confused if you think you're going to use that as a frame or an idea of what a relationship should be. So let's break that down by its logic and by its definitions. Okay? Now, I can't give you the full definition. If I do that, it's going to be at least 3 separate audios, 3 separate videos. So I got to break it down to its condensed form and make it very simple. First of all, a man is an individual who knows himself. All right. He understands his own genetics. He knows his mind frame. And he understands that he is not only a male species or male version of the human race, but you know that there's multiple versions within himself, such as his masculinity, such as his potential to be alpha, or maybe his potential to slip into a beta mindset. Okay. But within it all, a man is responsible of his own definitions of what he wants out of life. Sometimes it could be conquer and survive. Sometimes it can be the liberation of his own masculinity or the maintaining of his masculinity. Or it can simply be just having the ambition to build his own kingdom in his idea of life itself. And that goes along on various subjects and various forms. So if you branch over to marriage, same thing. It's a versatile sort of requirement based on the people who's involved in the marriage, based on the choices that you make as an individual woman or an individual man. Okay. Woman being the opposite version of himself or the female version of him. M-Ot noon, or yin and yang, or like what I like to say, my favorite is the sun and the moon, night and day. But yet you are still formed as a human. So knowing yourself, knowing your own phylum, your own energy, and as a woman, okay, now swinging that over into marriage itself, I don't know how I got off to talking about women, but that's okay. Marriage. The marriage factor is based on both of you, okay, as knowing yourself as female and male, okay? And however the marriage is developed, it's going to be successful the more knowledge and the more direction you have for where you want the marriage to go, based on your control, meaning based on you, based on knowing who you are, just like a computer or just like the basics of chemicals or chemistry. When you know how it's formulated together in the compound, you know what the results are going to be. So when this man know that he is a man and what kind of man he is, and he's comfortable in his skin, then from there, he's going to make sure that his marriage is going to be suitable for his manhood or masculinity or lack thereof. You got it? And with that, of course, he can't be in a marriage by himself. So therefore, you come into play, which is the woman or female. Therefore, the adjustments begin. It fails because the two people don't know themselves. The two people are immature, or one person is a lackluster in their life. One person is destructive. One person is still a grown child in an adult body. So the relationship or the marriage is completely a catastrophe. Eventually, it's like a slow poison that's going to devour both of you eventually, based on very insignificant minor problems and failures that you are willing to overlook because you're doing the natural donkey dunk, boy meets girl, she looked good and he looks good type of scenario. Now, let's get on with religion itself, or you could say church. Now, the idea of religion and church, what most people would think when you think of church is morals, or for some people, it's the rules of life. Or there's many people who say, well, it's a place where you hear or listen or learn the word of God. All right. As you develop through the years, you have the potential to debunk or destroy whatever your religious pastors or leaders have tried to stuff down your throat with a plastic spoon. So therefore, you should have the ability to question what they have given you. You should have the ability to know better than what you used to know. Every day, you should learn something different. That's usually my self-policy there. If you haven't learned anything in your one day, you've wasted your entire day. You wasted your time. In my personal world, even as I was a child or a kid growing up, I would always ask myself after I came home, what did I learn? No matter where I was at, if I was out in public, if I was shopping, that is when I got older to do so. When I dealt with the outside world, our relationships, whether the relationship succeeded or failed, I would always sit down and ask myself, Morpheus, did you learn anything? I always made sure I learned something. If there was nothing that I learned, I consider my day to be wasted. And I'm upset at myself. I'm angry because I didn't walk around with a paper and pencil. I wasn't open-minded in the situation. So when it comes to your religion, you should always have the ability to learn something different, not sit there and think that this is always going to be the rule of thumb and not challenge the rule of thumb, or not challenge what's being told to you as to what you should do, what you should not do in any given situation. Now, as you are developing in your spiritual growth, I didn't say religion, spiritual growth, you're naturally going to evolve. You're going to grow. You're going to see life differently, and life's going to throw many adjustments your way where you're going to have the ability to manipulate those adjustments to comply to your new development or to your understanding of the newfound world and information. And with that, you are lining it up with knowing who you are as a man and a womb man as well. So therefore, you're going to do all that you can to make sure that it either aligns with the creature that you are, or if it doesn't align with it, meaning that it is wrong against your otherwise nature, it's unrealistic, it's a lie, it's a farce, then you're just going to drop it right there at the door and say, I'm not specifically interested in your religion or church and whatever lies they have to tell me, because I know better than that. I have more experience, and I know that this is not the truth because I did the work myself, in which many people don't do. Many people do not do the work themselves. You have to understand the basics of many people, and I know this myself. All right. Most people, they're not generally evil within themselves. Most people do not realistically hate God or dislike the church. Okay, you gotta understand that. It's not that when a person turns away from what you believe that they don't like God. I don't know too many people, and never have ran into too many people who would be willing to say that they would curse out God if God was a human being, or that they will completely be disrespectful. And even if they don't line up to the idea of an existing God, they're still going to be moralistic. There's still going to be a simple, moralistic and honorable human being just based on what they know by doing what's good or what's bad towards the people. The problem is we try to come up with a program to say that something's wrong or right. And our wrong or right is always judged by those who want to take control, or judged by those who are already fully indoctrinated or programmed. You got it? So they're the ones who will come up to you and tell you what you're doing wrong, or it's wrong not to go to church, or it's wrong not to do this and you're not married. It's wrong to go here, or it's wrong to do that because of their programming. And it's not all about what's wrong or right. It's either what's bad to do or what's good to do in that particular moment. You got it? Because there are some things that you have to do which may seem bad to others, but it is good for the situation. You got it? And then there are some things that you might have to decide to do, which is good. Which is bad. Well, I'll probably switch that up, which is good. All right. Where you're doing all the good that you can based on that moment, but it can be bad for everybody else. All right. Looks like today I'm getting kind of tongue tied and switching things up a little bit, but that's fine. I can deal with that. However, So the reality of it is it's going to be a multi-complex situation where it depends on your logic. It depends on your adjustment outside of your book taught programming. It's going to require you to know yourself and require for you to know the situation, to use the proper tools in your mind or your acknowledgement to fulfill the quota or the success in the situation. So here is your Shangri-La or your kicker. I already made the path for you, and I dug a ditch where you can understand where all these lies and misunderstandings could be in when you use your imagination. Okay. So comply the various functions that you're going to have to implement into your relationship as you are developing from year one, when you first meet that person, to however you want to stay with them. So we're going to put two barriers here. One barrier is actually between when you grew up in your experience of life. That's where that barrier is. And when you meet that person, right? The next barrier is when you want to get married with that person. So that's the second barrier. So you can imagine it's almost like, it's like three tiered. Okay. Like three blocks. The first block is your experience when you grew up or in college, meeting the world, and you never met this person. You can be any age. You can be 24, 30, 40, 36, 18. It don't matter. But as soon as you meet that person, that dimension is done. That means you met that bar. Okay. So on that measure, when you meet them up into that point, you're bringing into the relationship your experience, what you know, what you think you know, and your idea of life. You got it? And the same thing that he's doing or that she's doing. All right. And the opposite is doing the same thing. And you meet each other right there at that paradigm shift. And so there you have to make a decision as to what it's going to be that's going to help us to succeed as sun and moon. How can we create a natural recourse of night and day without colliding with each other? All right. That determines right there, based on your ability to adjust your lens and your functionality. If you come onto the scene in that dimension and you are an indoctrinated moron, you go by books, you go by what everybody tell you, you don't question anything, you all about what the pastor said and your professor, and you never read between the lines. And then you get with this other person who is a free thinker. Let's say, for example, they're a man. They know they're a man and they don't line up with the program because they understand as a man, the program does not appease for him. It doesn't comply for him and his masculinity. So he's not interested in going to your church and donning on a very tight shirt and a suffocating tie, faded white tight shirt and blue pants with the crease all the way up his crack. He's not interested in it. He's not interested in standing there holding an indoctrinated book that somebody else written, he never written. He's not interested in trying to quote somebody else's words or scriptures when he's not quoting his own or understanding his own scripture of life. So this masculine male just may tell you, I am not going to your church. I'll be with you, but I'm not going to be with your religion or your church. So all of a sudden, you're mad. All of a sudden, you think, oh, he hates God. All of a sudden, he can never respect God. All of a sudden, you're thinking that he's not compatible for you because he's not programmable. You see how I said that? Some of y'all waiting for this. Hold on. Let me give you this red pill here. Wait a minute. Hold on here. Some of you don't get, hold on. Give you your red pill. Here it is, coming hot and fresh. How about that? Let me go ahead and take mine. Listen. Because the definition of a real man, all right, the definition of a real man is he carves his own path. He's going to understand There's going to be some camaraderie. There's going to be some, he's going to have friends, of course. Yes, this man have the ability to go golfing with another man, challenge on a game of Madden or Halo. They may even go out and do a couple of fist bumps while they're at the bar, maybe the club, and the club is open, chill out, laugh at a dumb movie. Should it ever come across the screen, they're gonna sit in their house looking at television, unless it's like the Super Bowl or a football game or sports. But if it's on television screen, it's probably somewhere in a public arena. You know, it might be right there on the wide blue screen at the pub, right? Or a joint somewhere. But they'll laugh at it. But these two men still have the ability to carve their own path. They're able to come up with the understanding, camaraderie, to join each other, meaning to agree with what each other is saying. But the idea is they still stand on their own square. Men don't unify like women do. And as a matter of fact, men have the ability to do so. And we do know how to fist bump and be brothers in arms if we need to be. And we are. We're getting that way a little bit better nowadays, since we're becoming red pill and understanding the scheme of our society. Okay, but still, the genetic mindset of the man isn't the same as the woman, because we are always going to be in the lead of ourself. A real man wants to sign his own page. He wants to be the one in the driver's seat of his life, and he should. Only beta men don't mind being the passengers of their cars. Beta guys are the sensitive, blue pill, soft hat type of dudes who isn't really interested in being the leaders. They are the followers. They don't mind going to your church with you. They don't mind being programmed and going by the indoctrination that's being spoon fed to them. You got it? These are the guys who will eventually marry. These are the guys who, at that bar, when this red pill guy rejects you and he's like, no, I'm not interested. I'm good. I got better things to do than to be sitting here for an hour and a half being lied to. I'm gonna go ride my horse. Right? I'm gonna go outside and chop some wood. I got some things to write in my study. I don't have time to sit here and listen to some nonsense babble of a mythical idea that can't be proven. Don't have time for it. They're gonna walk away from it. Okay? And so what ends up happening is the woman will get upset, or if it's reverse, if it's the beta guy and you got the red pill woman, which I doubt that anyway. However, by that time, you're like, well, he don't want to line up to the program, so I'm going to find another dude. I'm going to find a beta. And that's when you will find that beta who don't mind being passive or moist as an angel fruitcake, and you okay with that. Okay? The standards of a man is to stand on his own square. The standards of a beta male, okay, I didn't say man, beta male, somewhat male, don't even want to call him that. A beta male-like species, whatever the hell he is, okay, he don't mind standing on square that don't belong to him, because it's comfortable, or it's emotional, or it's sensational based on the standards of society. So he'll stand on that square. Real men don't do that. Even if it's uncomfortable for the real man or a real male, he's going to stand on his own square, whether it's rain, snow, summer, shine, or winter. All right. Or a blizzard out there, or a hurricane. He's going to do what he can to maintain his square, because he knows himself, as he should. And therefore, he's going to question the biblical text. He's going to question what you want to otherwise believe in. He wants to know in it. You want to believe in it. You got it? So therefore, because he's an knowledgeable guy where he wants to know what he's getting himself into, and all you want to do is be emotional and believe in what you're going to get into, you'll constantly fail. And here you are with this beta guy. That's the only thing that you have. But let's move forward with that, because we just stopped right there at that first dimension. I told you that first barrier. So let's say that you succeed forward from there, and you start based on who you chose, whether it is a red pill acknowledgeable man or a blue pill weak, fresh out of first grade type of dude who you need to pacify as a woman. As a matter of fact, a lot of these beta guys that women marry and they're in their life, and this guy is happy wife, happy life. Whatever she say go when she's running the house. These are the guys who get cheated on. These are the guys where the women will get tired of eventually. They will end up dousing these guys. How can I put this without making you see Morpheus in a different light? Morpheus isn't married. I'm not married. Okay, and I told you I'm not in a long-term relationship. I'm red pill, right? Check this out. I get it all the time. I can't tell you how many times out in public, in private, in in business, going to a banquet, going out of town, on an airplane, wherever I am. When I encounter a woman, okay, there is always going to be a healthy interaction, and it's never about, first of all, it's always them interested in me. I'll put it like that, okay, because I don't cold approach, I don't waste my time. And to me, that's a disgrace, not only to my manhood, but it's a disgrace where I don't have to. This is the 2020s. Women are liberated. They're independent. They're strong. They can do it all by them damn selves. So why should I even have to do anything nowadays? As a matter of fact, I'm like, okay, why don't you take me out then? You so bad. I'm not opening no door. No, you open up the doors for me. And you really want to know more about Morpheus? I stand there at the door, my hands in my pockets. If she walked through the door, I'm going to be standing right there to see what she do. And 70% of the time, 70% of the time, the woman herself will walk herself through the door, okay, and let it slam behind her. She won't open up the door. But there is a handful of females that will. She will actually hold the door open, and she'll hold it open. She'll open up. You ready? Oh, come on. Okay, you're next. I'm like, okay, appreciate it. Then I pull my hands out of my pockets. I'm like, okay, thank you. That will be the same lady. Listen, that will be the same lady. If I see her coming out of the door, I'll do the same thing because I remember what she just did. I opened up the door for her. Okay, I got you. I got you back. You see? Because we equal now. So therefore, you can imagine when I'm out in the public area, when it comes to any type of female I may be interested in, if I ever am, or any type of interaction, I'm not going to make the first move. I'm not going to say I'm interested. As a matter of fact, I'll sit back and watch because I know how disenfranchised men are. And most times women aren't single. Women are going to have somebody there. And if he's not standing there or currently there as a current boyfriend, she has 5 or 6 of them in her back pocket somewhere or her Instagram page or Facebook. Okay, so I'm just an ant in an ant pile. And therefore, as a red pill man and respecting myself, I'd rather not be a part of the minions. I'd rather just be myself, play it cool, and be a priority in my own life. If I'm not a priority in her life, I am not going to sign up to be a second-rate boyfriend. You got it? But when I do have the opportunity, when there is an interaction with them and we're conversating about something, it is always a flirtation here. You're sexy there. You're hot here. What do you do for a living over here? All right. It's always you're so funny. You're so tall. You're so muscular. How about this? You got a girlfriend. She'll lay it down. You got it? And not only will she lay it down, eventually it gets to the point where the questions are thrown. Okay, so what's going on here? So she'll specifically tell me in her own way, and women know how to do that. Oh, I do have a boyfriend. I got a boyfriend over here. I'm married. But they'll say, but I'm married, but since you are here, it's all about you. All right. And when I do my best, To be honest with you, I do my best to turn the conversation back to their boyfriend or their husband. Because if it was me, if it was me and I'm the blue pill beta who got married to her, I wouldn't want my life or my heart to be broken if a red pill alpha like myself or like somebody else, just say somebody else, came into her life and I don't know anything about it. However, I do got a secondary backup plan for that. Going forward, my philosophy as well is if she want to jump ship, that's actually her loss, not mine. Okay, so realistically, I wouldn't worry about that anyway. I feel like, hey, she want to walk out the door. The moment she walk out and that door slam, right on her buttocks, all right, there's going to be another girl walking in as soon as she leaves. So I'm like, okay, you did me a favor. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. So really, if we're out in a restaurant somewhere, if I'm out playing football or rugby with the brothers or a card game and she want to flirt and be with him, I'm not going to worry about it. As a matter of fact, I'll be like, hey, her clothes and her purse is right here. Go ahead and do your thing, bro. I'm good. Just make it easier for me. Take this burden off of my hand because that just lets me know she's not for me. You got me? So why am I going to sit here and be jealous and upset? If she don't want to be there, go on, leave. One day I'll just come across someone who's willing to stay, be loyal, virtuous, and decent. Just make my day better. It's better earlier than later. It's better for me to know now she's a 304 than for me to figure out she's a 304 14 years later and a couple of months into the marriage. Absolutely not. But anyhow, getting back to the story. So I end up being that one to hear her pretty much degrade her husbands or her boyfriends because she's telling me that she's giving me an opportunity. So she's trying to monkey wrench to me. You got it? I'm the person that she wants to throw her hypergamy at and say, well, I'm looking at you. I'm thinking about him and he doesn't compare to you. That's these girls I'm telling you about. And when I speak to them and I ask them questions about their life, how's this guy doing? What's up? I'm trying to give him props. Okay. I'm trying to say, no, I'm not taking this dude's girl. I won't want that to happen to me. Trying to be fair, honest, and open-minded. I don't know the guy, right? But I'm thinking, hey, he's my brother nonetheless, and I'm not going to douse him like that. But like, what about him? What about Brian? What about Billy? What about Dave? What about Charles over there? I mean, what's your boy Charles doing? Go ahead and have him take you out this weekend. Why don't you go ahead and if he's not doing what I'm doing, just hey, that's just him. You chose him. That's your boyfriend. That's your husband. Understand him. I mean, I'm pretty much generally doing what I can to make sure that she's loyal to him. Not trying to swap her up and say, oh, hey, what do you call that? A donkey dunk is a donkey dunk. No, that's another man's bowl of rice. I'm not trying to stir another man's bowl of rice. What kind of mess is that? I don't know anything about this dude. You got me? You got me? And if my protection breaks and I decide to be this dumb idiot of a Morpheus, now I'm transformed back into the Matrix, right? I'm connected back to the machine again. Morpheus is down. And I get with this girl and my protection breaks or something like that. And I get the itchy scratchy from her. I got the itchy scratchy from her boyfriend. Not from her. Yeah, she's the carrier, but I got it from him because I'm stirring his rice. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to touch her lips that's been on him? That's not my type of algorithm. And not only that, if she's doing that on him, flipping on him, coming to me, I don't know how many other people that she would do that to behind his back. And if anything, nowadays, we need people to stay together. We need somebody who's going to speak up for other men. And we need people who's going to be real about situations like marriage and relationship and hold these people to the candlestick. So I will always tell these girls, listen, yeah, you think I'm better than, Dave, Brian, and the rest of them and your husband, blah, blah. But you know what? You chose this man. Be honorable by this dude who put the ring on your finger. Be honorable by this dude who allowed you to have this plane trip. Be honorable about this dude that allowed you to come out here to this banquet all by yourself. He didn't want you to come out here to a banquet so you can come and get with me. trying to label me as some Chad and Tyrone. I'm not going to be your Chad and Tyrone. I'm going to be that guy that's going to turn you around back where you came from and said, no, you need to go to that dude. You want some satisfaction? He's at home. Do your itch with him. If you got an itch, you go ahead and you go back home and you let him stir the rice bowl. All right. And do it right and be honorable by him, because the grass isn't greener on the other side. You chose him. Be responsible and be accountable for your actions. My one night stand with you is not going to fulfill the 10 years, 14 years, 5 years that you have spent with this guy. You need to be loyal to him. But I'm telling you this, Neo, is because these girls are married. These girls have boyfriends and they don't care, because the guys they got with, I told you, the first dimension, the first barrier I told you about, blue pill betas. Blue pill betas. These are because they want the red pill. They want the red pill alpha. They want the real man. They want the dude who's walking away from it all. They want the guy who's not programmed. They want the guy who is still a man. They want a man who's a man. You got it? And a man who's a man is the one who's like, I don't want your programming. I'm going to program myself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to deprogram myself from the lies that was given to me as a child, and I'm going to figure out my own truth, and I'm going to carve my own path through my mountain, and I'm going to climb my own problems. That's what a real man do. That's what she want. Not some, I'm going to go along and wear my tight pants and be feminized type of ridiculous looking dude. She'll jump ship on him in a second. As a matter of fact, she will be with a guy like me while she's with him at the same time. Could you imagine? There could have been so many opportunities. I can't even count. I cannot count. I can't tell you how many. I would have had a complete notebook of women that I would have had the pleasure with and sent them back home to their blue pill beta soft hat dude. And they would know nothing about it. And hear their wife or girlfriend walking bow-legged, and the boys are, oh, guess she just had a good time. Yeah, she did. She rode the bull. She rode the bull. Over with. But you know what? Because of honor and studying and understanding how this thing works, I didn't allow myself to go down that chatut like that. And I don't get around like that, because I got quality, I got principles, and I got standards. So if I want to be with the girl with virtue and standards herself, why would I want to be unvirtuous and have no standards of my own? Tit for tat, baby. If I want something, I'm going to be proper, and I'm going to be adjusted myself to receive it. However, let's move forward. So she's with this beta guy, and let's just say she met me across the way. Okay, put me in the story. And she continues on. And so she's getting to the point where she's wanting something serious now, right? She's, let's just say she can't procure a man like me after that first night, that first barrier. And she's still dealing with, let's just give his name Dave. Let's say Dave, blue pill beta Dave. Okay. And there's plenty of guys like me who said, no, I don't want to be with you. I'll spend 30 minutes, but that's it. An hour, that's it. This is a period of, let's say 5 or 6 years. And in the 5 or 6 year period, she's dropping hints on Dave that she want to be married. Y'all may have been this before. Shut up if you lying. If you think I'm lying, shut up. Just hush your mouth. You ain't never been alive long enough if you've never been in a situation like this before. Many men have. So by this time, she's dropping hits. Oh, I want to get married. We've been together 3 years. When are you going to marry me? Oh, I want kids. Dropping hits. Oh, what are we going to do in 10 years from now? What are we going to do 5 years from now? Oh, look at this jewelry shop. Oh, my God. Jacob's the jeweler. Look at those rings over there. Oh, look at the baby in the baby pen. It's so cute. Can we get a dog? Let's get a puppy. Oh, my God. Oh, look at that girl. And oh, she got married. Oh, I want to wear a dress like that one day. Oh, I'm going to my best friend's wedding next week. I'm going to my cousin's wedding in a month from now. Are you going to come? I'd love for you to come. I want to be in her wedding. I'm going to be the best maid. I'm going to be the best woman. whatever you call them. Whatever you call, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not into it. Score me later. I don't care. I'll say the best woman. See, I like to even things up. Best man, best woman. I don't leave you out. You want equality? I give it. So, she's dropping all these hints to Dave, like, hey, Dave, I want this. And all of a sudden, now she's asking for more. She's requesting more of the relationship because she's getting bored. You got it? She's getting bored now because she's meeting all kind of guys like me, red pill, who ain't tolerating her BS. Or at the same time, we live in a different lifestyle that Dave ain't living. Dave's blue pill. Dave's the guy, he'll get up and go to church with you in the morning. He's that simpleton type of guy. Oh, I'm going to go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. Maybe we go out to Red Lobster on the weekend. That's just about it. No, I'm going to stay home, baby. Watch a football game. Do whatever you want to do. Tired of looking at your face anyway. She tried to claim that she started looking at his face too, but yet she wants more from him. So, of course, she'll start raising the bar a little bit more about what she wants. Can he take her out? Can he waylay her again? She wants to feel excited once again. Let's have some backseat action all over again. Let's do some crazy stuff like we used to do when we was in high school and college all over again. But Dave's not feeling it. And she's really not feeling it because she actually wants someone else. Because Dave ain't cutting the rug. Dave blue pill. He's a soft guy, soft hat dude. But yet she still want to get married, right? She still want to have kids. So somewhere along the way, she convinces herself through emotions that she needs to be committed with Dave. Logically, she do anyway. Yes, she needs to be committed to Dave. That is real. She chose him. That's her man or her fiance. So that's where she needs to be. If she don't want to be with him, leave him alone. Walk away, right? But because the rivers ran dry, or because she got done messing around with all types of other guys who probably took her up on her measure when she came to him and said, hey, you got 30 minutes? And the other guy's like, sure, okay, absolutely. Where you want to go? Closet? In the bathroom in the restaurant? You want to go in the back seat of my Cadillac? Something like that? Sure. I got a condo over here, across the way. You want to go check out? Yeah, hotel for the weekend. Lie to your husband. Tell him that you going out of town with your sister for the weekend. Okay, so you come meet me over here at the hotel. She's like, oh, sure, I can do that. I'll be sure to put my ring and leave my ring in the car or the SUV or the expensive luxury vehicle that he just brought me. Or the Porsche. I'll leave it in the Porsche. I'll put it underneath the seat so you don't have to see it when you are breathing on top of me. Long as you don't say nothing, okay, we won't talk. You'll never know anything about it. I just want to be with you. I just want to see what it's like. Let's just have some fun this weekend, Mr. Chad. Okay. Sure. Not a problem. How you like it? I'm a woman. Oh, okay. Well, this says it all. So she's done with that now. Now she's like, what's the next excitement? Well, the only thing that's really left that she really wants to do anyway is marriage and probably having a child. By that time, there probably could have been a oops situation if she didn't mess up with one of these guys that she slipped up with, or could already be a 8-year-old or a 4-year-old baby that she already has with Dave. So because she looks at this beautiful child's face and big bright eyes and all the years that Dave was a very studious Ralph the dog and very committed to her cause because he's been there like 15, 16 something years now, or less than that nowadays. We know. Shoot, we can even break it down to like 5, 6 years, to be honest with you. I want to go ahead and just go ahead and get married to Dave. Let's go ahead and do it, Dave. Like, sure. Okay. Don't have the finances, but we'll give it a try. The Dave who don't have the red pill. Don't get the red pill. The Dave who sits down and watch ESPN all the time and the news and his dumb phone but never getting the red pill, never listening to people on YouTube like you or myself, never getting the facts, just go along with the program because they told him to. Dave is the type of guy who he believes, here we go, he believes, there's your magic word, he believes in what other people tell him that, oh, don't listen to people who's on YouTube, they're liars. Don't listen to red pill men, they're just bitter. They don't know anything about women, they're not experienced, they're just liars. They're just trying to create a catastrophe, they're conspiracy men, don't listen to him, don't listen to them. They just hate God, they're sinners. And Dave's like, sure, that's what the pastor said. The pastor said these are the end days. The pastor said that there will be false prophets. The pastor said that. You are right, Shirley. You are right, news channel. You are right, television. You are right, retard America. You're right. I believe you. So you know what? Guess what? I'm going to do it. I've saved up a lot of change, and I'm going to get married. I'm going to go ahead and give her the ring. They tell me about a prenup, but I believe in her because she's a beautiful Christian girl. She'll never do that to me. When she was out that weekend, she never met Morpheus. She wasn't even considered. As a matter of fact, she hates guys like Morpheus. She loves men like me who do everything right. I go to work, I come home, I make the bacon, I put the bread on the table, I tie the child's shoes. Even every now and then when she don't want to take the child to school, I'll take the child to school. I'm being very good dad. She would never do that, so I think she deserved for me to hand over the rights to my life and write a contract with my soul on the bottom line and give it to her. Because I'm smart, so I'll do it. So I want to sign up on, I'm going to sign up with Morpheus as the donkey of his academy, and I'm going to do it. Because that's just what donkeys do, and that's what us men are made to do, so I'm going to go ahead. Because it's going to make her happy. Happy wife, happy life. Do, 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 do. Let's do it. Dobie Gobi. Dobie Gobi, sir. And so here we are. We meet the second barrier. Second barrier, now you are faced again with the crossroads of decisions. At least she is. The decision is, where is life going to go from here? Now, you got to remember, up until this time, if I didn't make it clear, they're already back and forth in their so-called religion because that's what she wanted, right? That's the whole subject that we're talking about here, but breaking it down different ways. She wanted this dude to be religious. So he did that, right? So he went along with the program. He this nice guy. This nice guy that's in the definition of the common American woman, okay? And now he's married to her now. Gave her pretty much everything that she wanted. Pretty much everything. So she has a house now. She has this nice guy named Dave, okay? Probably have a young child, R2, in a house. And he's religious. All right, so they go to the cathedral or the Christian church or the Baptist church or Presbyterian, maybe even the mosque, depending on what it is and what side of town they are and what culture they are. Sometimes it's a variation. And so here they are, this is like the nutshell here. But at this particular time, several years later, nature is kind of funny. Nature does a little twist on on people like this who love to be Ralph the dog and the dodo bird here in my academy. It smashes you in the face whether you like it or not, whether you're ready for it or not. This is when it really gets you. Because now what ends up happening, now that they cross this barrier here, there's going to be another barrier that they wasn't expecting. There's going to be a twist in the game. This is when all bets are off the table. This is when they're going to have to maintain exactly what they have. Everything that she did in the past is what he has to deal with. Everything that he did in the past and whatever decisions that he made, he is going to have to deal with it. And on her behalf, she's not as interested in the donkey dunk like she used to be. By this time, she gained weight. By this time, she got too comfortable. By this time, she started chopping off her hair, maybe even try to color her hair. This time, she getting into unnecessary movements that's conflicting with your marriage and causing problems for Dave. So Dave is a little topsy-turvy, but he thinks he's being diligent by being this Christian do-gooder, blue pill beta dude. Right? Shirt and tie, Poindexter. But him on the other side, now he's looking at things a little differently. Now he has several demands that he might want out of the relationship, and he may get it every now and then, which is called a mercy hump or mercy intimacy or her relinquishing a couple of cookies to him every now and then just to say, good boy, you lined up to the program. Good boy. You allowed me to procure a stable house, a stable home. Now I got you. You know, you're my man. You went along with the program, so I have all this that you have helped provide me with from your hard investment, from your time, your energy that you invested, right? But all along, he's missing out on so much more because now she's not the girl she used to be. And now she's not as excited as she once was. And she just goes along with the program where she pretty much know all his positions. Okay, put it like that. So it's pretty much dry. And him on the other end as well. And unfortunately, during this time, this guy may come across a couple of red pill men as well. And it starts sinking in. All this time, he was a blue pill beta and he ignored the voices of the angels around him. And the angels was called devils by the social engineering and his womanist society. And all of a sudden, he starts to hear several men and several other men say things that was similar to his situation. He started hearing things about a Chad, a Tyrone, and her not being as capable as she used to do and chopping her hair and gaining weight. Then he does a flashback and start looking at her and say, oh, my God. My God, what the hell have I done? My God. What are we going to do? What am I going to do? But what he does is constantly convince himself that, hey, just like playing chess, I touched a piece, so I have to move it. It's the name of the game. I got to be accountable for my actions, and I have to just go ahead and just deal with what I have decided to marry. And now as times go on even further, she gets even more unhappy because no longer is there red pill men available. No longer is there a guy that's going to be there who's going to give her the attention that she once had when she was 24, 25, some 26. She can't go out there to those banquets anymore or those flying trips around across town where she had the capability of hooking the eyes of plenty of the men because she no longer has the body she used to. She's no longer the age she once was with the bright eyes and the good height that she used to be. Because guys would quickly look over her and glare at the more younger, more voluptuous, more capable, more suitable, different other women now who she used to be. So now the bitterness becomes the seeking even more, and the reality of it that she chose this so-called this do-gooder who she really don't want to be with now, but because he is the father of her children, our child, but because he provided or still provides a home, but because he's been a good blue pill beta the whole time, she figures that's her only foundation. And so she can abuse it however she feels. Her attitudes can be thrown all over the way, however she wants to throw it, because she already knows him by now. She's stuck with her this whole time. He dealt with all her variations and her mishaps all the way this time. So she understands that there's pretty much nothing she can do to make him turn away from her. But all the while, what she don't know is there's lots of regrets he just don't want to admit. If he can do it all over again, perhaps he would not have jumped the broomstick. Perhaps he would not have considered her to be the top choice. Times get harder from here as both of them gain ground one way or the other. He reads more, he studies more, he understands more of the situation that he put himself in. And she realizes it the same. And now here you go with different type of life changes. This is when one or the other is sleeping on the couch. This is when she becomes disgruntled, unhappy every day. This is when she finds excuses to leave the house, no different than himself, because he don't want to be there. Maybe in his basement, maybe on his side of the room, or maybe when he have a periodical chance to envision another woman on a TV set. But it won't be her, because she is 15 years, 14 years, maybe even 13 years too old now. The same old rice bowl. This time, no sugar, no cinnamon, no butter, and dry. Ultimately, she would constantly seek for another way out. Incidentally, that's just going to be the name of her game by this point. To continue to throw out boomerangs his way, traps where he can fall in, all kind of expletives in his direction to make sure that this relationship or this marriage goes to waste. All the while hoping, dreaming, and thinking that she can hold on to another guy that she may find somewhere, unfortunately. And ultimately, it ends up in divorce. It ends up with one of them saying, I'm just completely unhappy. You are a discouragement to my life, and you are bringing me down. So therefore, I am going to put in the papers to get rid of you altogether. Most times, it can't help but go that direction, because now the two people have realized before that time that they weren't compatible for each other finally. That they were no good to each other. Then all the bad talk about what they used to do, about what was and what could have been, is a thing called too late. But you got to ask yourself during all that, what did being a religious man have to do with all of it? Practically nothing. What did it help the situation? Practically nothing. This is part one, and I'm going to finish the rest in part two. So this chapter over here is done, and switch over there to part two, and we will finish the discussion there, Neo.